Alright, Godspeed. Turbo inlet. The spidgets. They're all aluminum. These will fit in for your evap, boost solenoid, PCV. There's another evap, I believe, and this is your blow-off valve. So let's get this going. Alright, we're going to put our inlet under the intake manifold and connect it to the turbo. So the way I would go about this, I just tried to see if I could get it in there in the first place, and it went. So I would put it in this way first. Now these are flexible, but you don't want to put too much strain on them. You never know. So I would get it in there, work it in. This is the hard line for your power steering right here with this bolt. And this has some plastic, black plastic wrapped around it. So this is going to be the hard line. And then you've got this, which you can kind of move up out of the way. This is all your wiring harnesses for all assorted goodness under there. So I would just get it in like this. And then once you can start working it, work it, baby, and get this by the hard line. Alright, I'm going to put this down. This thing is tricky. I mean, judicious amounts of WD-40. Just watch these ends that you're not like really putting too much stress on them when you're trying to get this thing in there. I would suggest for the turbo you put that hose clamp on with the 10mm at the end on there first and slide it on over the turbo. Kind of like, if you can see what I did here, you can see it right here, the hose clamp. You know, we're just going to get that on first. This way when you work this on, again, I'd put WD-40 on like a flat blade screwdriver and a lot of WD-40 down there and just kind of work that on the turbo. Bring that hose clamp back and tighten her down. Then you can do all your connections with the, yeah, you should be able to get in there and work all the spidgets and stuff. So we'll see how that goes after this. Alright, here it is installed. Godspeed inlet. I just have some zip ties around there. Those are just for safety. The other ones I have hose clamps, standard hose clamps. PCV valve. Had a brass fitter just to extend it, because remember this little piece right here, which plugged into your diagnostic, PCV diagnostic, it takes up space, and when you remove that you need a little straight coupler, which is right there where my finger's pointed at, and that I just put with a brass fitting. You know, you can have your own adventure with that. Some people will use different connectors and whatnot. And if you removed your intercooler, just make sure that you don't over tighten those. 2 bolts for the blow off bypass valve, and it should be all set. Take it for a test drive. Oh, the only other thing I wanted to say is you might have to shave off some material from here once you're done. It doesn't allow for when you would it gives this metal coupler that's in between there, so you can hook up to your stock. That was a kind of a pain in the ass getting it in, but you can fit it in without any problems, because this doesn't account for how you slide this over the boot. So you'll probably have to take about 1/2 inch off of that so your airbox will fit in. And once everything's done, zip it up, get it going. I'm going to put the cover back on for the belts, and I've already taken it for a test drive. It's perfect. You should hear no whistles or anything. I mean, if you had something before, then okay, just make sure everything's tight. All the connections from the intake path, starting with your box all the way through to this hose, the connecting hose, all the way through to your inlet, all the connections to HVAC, blow-off valve, PCV, your turbo inlet itself, the intercooler to Y-pipe, intercooler to throttle body, and bypass valve. And yeah, it's a lot. It sounds like a lot, but once you start playing with it and get the system, it's pretty easy. So do those things and you're ready to go. And there's a Godspeed inlet. So I mean, it's working really nice so far. It's actually decently made. I don't see any problems with it. It fits great, that's for sure. Just a lot of WD-40 and you'll be able to slide it in without taking the intake manifold off. I did not take the intake manifold off. I did remove, you know, of course, some of the wires and everything going here, and some of the hoses, just to give better clearance. Well, you should see that in the other shots. And there it is. It runs great. It's definitely when people say throttle response, I think they're talking about when they when they hit the gas. It's how fast the car reacts, because a lot of people say, oh, it's better throttle response, better throttle response. I did notice. I don't know if that's just plugging in, because I just plugged it in. Every once in a while it does that. You'll feel a little until the computer and the ECU learns a little more. So who knows if it's just that, but you definitely feel it's a little more livelier when you step on the gas. Like, there's not more power, it just goes right away. So pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I needed to do it anyway because the stock one failed. So there it is.